Hello, students! Tonight we begin Chapter 16.2 on circulation, which is one of my favorite topics. Circulating oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nutrients around the body is a big task that requires multiple organs working together as an organ system. The organ system that is responsible for carrying blood and all of the important substances contained within it throughout your body is called the cardiovascular system. When we think of how the cardiovascular system works, it's really useful to use metaphors. Like, for example, the Venetian canals that you see in the background of this slide. The Venetian canals wind their way through the city of Venice in Italy, providing a way to transport people and important cargo on boats that can move through the canals. The canals vary in size, but altogether, the canals connect different parts of the city and enable people and cargo to get to wherever they are needed. So, I like this metaphor because it describes the cardiovascular system well. Instead of canals, water, boats, and cargo, the cardiovascular system has blood vessels that contain red blood cells, which carry their own important cargo, such as oxygen, to places where it is needed in the body. We could also think of several other great metaphors for the cardiovascular system. In the space here, not there, here, in this space, part of your homework tonight is to think of and describe another metaphor for the cardiovascular system that is like the metaphor I gave you with the Venetian canals, but is different than this. So, tonight you have to think of your own metaphor and write it in this space, and we'll share our examples in class tomorrow. Okay, so now that we have a general idea about the general function of the cardiovascular system, let's describe its components. Components or parts of the cardiovascular system include the heart, the blood vessels, which in fact come in 3 different sizes, the arteries, the capillaries, and the veins. And then lastly, the blood. These components work together as the cardiovascular system to circulate or move around the body all of the molecules and nutrients that the body needs to survive. So, we all know that the blood is constantly moving or circulating. The word circulating means moving around in a circular fashion. So, our blood is constantly circulating throughout our body. And I want you to think about why that's important. Think about what would happen if the blood did not move, if it just sat there. Hopefully, you're realizing that once your cells used up all the oxygen and nutrients that they had, if the blood wasn't moving, then there would be no way for those cells to replace the used up nutrients and oxygen. So, it's maximally important that we're always circulating our blood. And the organ responsible for doing that is your heart. The heart is made out of muscle tissue. And because muscle tissue is specialized for moving things, it has the special ability where it can contract, or in other words, it can squeeze together with force, and then relax. And it can do this in a cycle, contract, relax, and so on. And it will actually do that. It's been doing that for the 13 years of your life, and it will continue to do so, hopefully, for at least the next 80 years. So, this cycle of contracting and relaxing is how the heart pumps blood to your entire body. All right, let's take a look at these pictures at the bottom to get an idea about where your heart is located in your body. So first, in the left-hand picture here, we see the heart here in the center. And you will notice that it is located right in between your lungs. And those soft tissue organs, if we go ahead and we look at the next picture to the right, you'll notice that both the lungs and the heart are enclosed within the rib cage. That's these here. Those are your ribs. And those ribs come together in a protective, they join together in the center, attached to a protective bone called the sternum. Okay, so that's this here. That's your sternum. It's not a mistake that your heart is surrounded by so many bones and tissues. These bones and tissues are there specifically to protect the heart so it can keep us alive. Okay, to finish up today, we're going to take a look inside of the heart. The inside of the heart is divided into 4 parts. We call these parts chambers. The names of the 4 chambers inside the heart are the right atrium. You can find that here. This is the right atrium. The next is the left atrium. That's this one here. Then below the atria are the ventricles, so the right ventricle here. And then finally, the left ventricle. So all together, we've got our 4 chambers inside the heart. You will also notice in this picture that each chamber of the heart is separated from the other chambers by structures. I'm outlining them in red here. You see one there, and there, and here, and one more here. You'll see each of these structures separates one chamber from the next. Those structures are called valves, and they function like a one-way door or one-way turnstile in the metro, in that they keep everything moving in only one direction. Just like in a metro station, it would be confusing if people were moving through the turnstiles in both directions. The same thing is true in your heart. It would not be working efficiently if the blood was able to move in both directions. So we need to keep everything going, circulating in one direction, and that's why we have our valves. Okay, tomorrow we're going to discuss the 3 circuits of the heart. The heart's, when we use the word circuit, what we mean is places that the heart delivers blood to and collects it back from. So there are 3 circuits. We're in class going to discuss 2 of those circuits. The first is the pulmonary circuit. The pulmonary circuit is the one that takes blood from the heart, brings it to the lungs, and then takes it back to the heart. The second circuit is the systemic circuit. The systemic circuit takes blood from the heart, delivers it to cells throughout the body, and then brings it back to the heart. Okay, so that will be tomorrow. We will discuss both pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation in detail. All right, that's it for tonight. Don't forget your Quizmodo, and have a good night.